yesterday I referred to two important books of Talcott Parsons. One is The Structure of Social Action, the other one The Social System. And I talked about how social system is a constructed type, and while it is a constructed type, what kind of action system it creates. Apart from that, I discussed about what are the aspects or features related with social system, and I think last point I made about the action system, or you can say the motivational orientations which provides energy to the actor, has three important aspects. One is cognitive, the other one is cathectic, the third one is about evaluative. I think these are the 3 points I was referring to at the end. It is clear, this cognitive, cathectic and evaluative. Now these are the motivational orientations which motivates and gives energy to the individual actors to act upon his interactions. So while interacting, the actor is motivated, and this motivation comes from these three sources, and this is the sources of energy also, Talcott Parsons says. So one is called the cognitive, the other one is cathectic, the third one is evaluative. Let me briefly explain these three terms, because I have to cover many things today, so I am a little bit fast, because I have to go up to pattern variables of Talcott Parsons. Cognitive meaning implies what is or what the actors perceive. That means as an actor, what you perceive, that is called your cognitive. Clear? That means you have a perceptions about certain issues, or whatever whatever action you do, or whatever your behavior is, but its behavior is induced with certain kind of perceived or certain kind of preconceived ideas. I think that is called the cognitive, which is there at the value level, at your level. Now that guy told me that he was there, his residence or his village, because of his brother's marriage. So everybody could understand what marriage is all about. No, it is there in your cognitive level. So you can able to connect with it. Very easily you can connect with it. So therefore it is cognitive, and cognitive provides certain kind of meanings to the terms we use, the act we do, or the activities we undertake, or the activities which is being undertaken by others also, we try to connect and give a meaning to it. So that is called cognitive. That is there in your value level, that is there in your mental state, or in the state of the mind. So therefore you are in a position to understand it. So that is called cognitive. Secondly is cathectic. The second term, it is all part of value orientations. This all provides energy to the actor. So the other one is called cathectic. A cathectic means it is related with sentiments, or it is involved with the processes through which an actor invests an object with affective significance, or perceive what is pleasurable and what is painful. When you do any kind of activities, or you do some act as an actor, as an individual, you always try to be very calculative about it. If I do this, what is going to happen? If I do this, what will be the consequences? What I'll get out of it? So this kind of sentimental analysis actor always does. And while doing this, when you perceive your goal, you try to find out, if I'll do this, whether it is going to be beneficial to me, how much pleasure I can derive out of it, whether my life will be measurable or painful or pleasurable, whatever it may be. So these are there in mind. So this is all are part of cathectic. So what we are discussing, that when an individual as an actor, he does certain things, he has a cognitive aspect involved in it, as well as a cathectic aspect also involved, where he tries to see, if I do this, what are the benefits I am going to get? If I don't do this, what I am going to lose, or what I am not going to get? So that is the call of cathectic. And the third one, what Talcott Parsons says, is about evaluative. Evaluative is the judgment and interpretation of alternative and selections of appropriate one. While doing the act, you try to be evaluative also. If I don't do this, what are the alternatives I have? So if I'll go for these alternatives, again you try to analyze what would be the benefit of it. So that is called evaluative. That means all the value orientation before the act or before the actors or before the actor is acting on certain social processes. So he used to be energized or he used to be influenced by these three factors, what Talcott Parsons says as cognitive, cathectic and evaluative. And they are all part of your value orientation. Actually, Talcott Parsons gives a lot of importance to values and value orientation. Again, while talking about value orientation, he talks about 3 or 4 other points I'll be talking just now. So, the value orientations refers to social norms and standards. So, overall, when you talk about value orientations, though it has cognitive, cathectic and evaluative aspects, but it also talks about the general social standards and general social norms. So overall general social norms is the primary, and on the basis of which you go for evaluative and you go for cathectic and other aspects of it. And what is trying to say, the value orientation supplies norms or standards of action. So your action is being judged, or your action also is being judged on the basis of what? It is judged on the basis of the standards or on the basis of the values of the society or on the basis of the norms of the society. The standards, values and norms, they are always helpful for an actor as well as for alters also. So both are being observed or as being evaluated on the basis of these value orientations, and that is also provides a kind of energy to the actors as well as to the alters. Again, he tries to talk about value orientation as threefold. That means value orientation has 3 aspects. Again, he is trying to focus on it. What are these 3 aspects he is trying to say? He is not only saying here cognitive, he is talking about cognitive standards. That means value orientation not only involves cognitive aspect of it, but also cognitive standards. So what is cognitive standard now? We'll see. Then he talks about appreciative value, appreciative standard, and he also talks about moral standards. Again, he tries to talk about value orientation in 3 parameters. The first is about cognitive standard. What is cognitive standard according to Parsons? And he says cognitive standards which the validity of the cognitive judgment is assessed. That means, while I talked about cognitive, means it provides a kind of mental framework which is guiding principles to act or to behave in a certain manner as an actor. But as a human being, you also tries to make a cognitive judgment. Cognitive judgment in the sense can be what you perceive, but exactly what you perceive, that is correct or not. So this is called cognitive standards. That means you perceive something. So cognitive standards means a kind of judgment you try to make before act. Before doing any kind of act, you try to be judgmental about it. You take a decision. For example, Ashwini wants to marry, for example. So that means he has to think. Once he go ahead, then again he has to put it in a cognitive standard or cognitive framework. Whether I should marry in this manner, whether I should marry in a Buddhist manner, whether I should go for a Hindu marriage, whether I should go for constitutional marriage. So there are number of ways. So he's trying to, and if at all I do all these things, what message I am going to pass on to the society. So it is all cognitive judgments. No, it is all about cognitive standards. That means from a cognitive standards, you try to evaluate the act which we are going to do. First is you are motivated. This is called cognitive. But cognitive standards means you try to evaluate what you are going to do. Clear? The second point, what he is again trying to say, is about appreciative standards. That means those by which selections among the possibilities of cathectic significance can be made. Now, I talked about cathectic earlier also, but now he is also again talking about cathectic, but he talks about appreciative standard. You know, cathectic is related with your sentiments. It is about your involvement in the process, and or it is also a kind of judgmental things, or it is just like a kind of calculative things. If I do this, what I am going to get out of it. But now he is saying whether this will be appreciated by others or not. So what you decide in a cathectic sense, whether this has appreciative value or not. What you decide to do as an individual, as an actor, as a teacher. But certainly it has to be decided that what you decided to do or what you have selected to do, whether it has pleasure or it has the decision is correct or incorrect. Now that is all about appreciative standards. But he is talked about appreciative standard and the cathectic is linked together. But it is all about actor, it is all about social action. Try to understand this. It is all about actor, and while actor is performing certain act, these are the value orientations which is always influence him. But now he is trying to categorize it. But we all do this in our day-to-day activities and day-to-day life. But Talcott Parsons has to categorize it, by which it seems little difficult and confusing to understand it. But if you try to put it in this particular framework, the way I am trying to put, so you can able to understand it. So the point I am trying to say, value orientation is threefold. Number one is about the cognitive standard, not cognitive as such, but it's about cognitive standard. The second one is about appreciative standard, and the third one is about moral standards. Again, moral standard is about evaluative standards, which are neither cognitive as such nor appreciative, but you try to judge from a moral perspective. That means you try to evaluate your own actions by certain moral standards. A moral standard, what is trying to say, neither it is evaluative nor it is cognitive. It is in between. In between in the sense that you try to involve certain parameters to evaluate your act. What does it mean? It means that an actor, when do certain act in a social system, he is influenced by these three processes. You can say one is cognitive, the other one is appreciative, the third one is evaluative. But these three can be further linked with again the earlier classification which I have suggested, that is called cognitive, cathectic and evaluative in the earlier sense. It is all, it is not like a kind of segregations you can do. No, all Talcott Parsons understanding about social system and social actions can be linked with all these aspects what I am discussing, and the larger point what I am trying to focus, that is called the value orientations. So these aspects are related with the value orientations, and he says these value orientations are just like the energy which is being provided to the actor, by which he is oriented, he is motivated to act in a particular manner. If there is no orientations, if there is no appreciations, so nobody will work. So how does this appreciations, how does this orientation come from? He says it comes from value orientations, it comes from society, and these are the stages that he is trying to talk about. Apart from these value orientations and social system, he talks about action and three types of actions. One is instrumental actions, expressive actions and moral actions. Because all his analysis is related with the actor, there are two things you can remember. One is actor, the other one is actions. So actor does the actions, and it happens in the situation of alter, or in the situation of others, you can say. Alter is here, others. So it is about action, it is about social system, which has all the aspects like value orientation aspects. What is called this instrumental actions. In instrumental actions, what the actor thinks, that he anticipates the future state of affairs and focuses on cognitive orientation again. So that is called instrumental actions, means you tries to find out or anticipate the future state of affairs. For example, if you want to become an IAS, you try to anticipate what is going to happen if I'll become an IAS. And then you go into the cognitive aspect of it. So, instrumental actions is oriented to the achievement of a goal. You are interested to achieve a certain goal. While achieving a certain goals, you try to anticipate the future state of affairs attached to that particular goal. Suppose you are fixing a goal to have something and you try to anticipate, if I'll do this, then I'll have these things with me and this may be beneficial too. So this is called the instrumental actions, which is largely anticipating the future affairs of the action which you are interested to do. And again you go to the cognitive aspect of it, thinking whether it is, then try to perceive about it, try to think about it, if this is the situations, and from there you draw the motivations. From there you draw the motivations that if I'll become like this, so I'll have all these benefits and all these facilities and all these way I can make my life much more better. So therefore it is all about the instrumental aspect of the actions. So there is a link, as I have said many times, there is a link between social system and action. You cannot separate both. It has to be understood in connection with each other. So secondly, he talks about expressive actions. This is not, expressive actions is not about thinking about it, but to bringing a flow in it. Or you tries to do the activities which can lead to get that particular goal what you have pursued. It means, first thing that you have set a particular goal and you evaluated, if I will keep this particular goal, these things I am going to get and these are the benefits. So this is all about at instrumental level. Now when you try to operationalize this, means you have started acting on such parameters which will enable you to get that particular goal fulfilled. So that is called your expressive actions. So expressive actions is not only thinking about it, rather you try to get into the flow of it. So the action itself is a goal and gives primarily to the cathectic mode of orientation. Forget about this cathectic mode of orientation here. You just think that you have started acting on it. Since you have started acting on it, so that is expressive actions. That means others can perceive that you are in a full swing, or you are really dedicated to become an IAS or become a judge or become a officer, whatever it may be. So from your activities it can be very easily judged. So that is called the expressive actions. You are not thinking about a particular goal, rather you have started working on it. I think started working on it is called expressive actions according to Parsons. And the third one is moral action. In moral actions, what he's trying to say, the focus is on the system of order itself, or on not on the goal of it. So the focus is on the system of order itself. That means what you are engaged in as an actor, or whether it is in the consonance with societal order or not, or whether this is going to fulfill your desire or your interest or not, whether it is judged in a particular parameters of society or societal moral order or not. That means what you are doing, it has a moral actions, means you think about how your action is societally or socially accepted. So that is called your moral actions. So I talked about three types of actions: instrumental actions and expressive actions and moral actions. Make a little bit of studies, then things will be clear to you.